Hey, welcome to my journey into another Weight Watchers meal prep. I feel like it's been a long time since we've done one of these. I didn't go back and look. I wasn't that concerned with it. I can't remember if I did one in between the first knee and the second knee, or if I didn't. But if I did, I plan on I did one, or not many, but we're having one today. And you know what? I dread before, because I meal prepped every Saturday for, oh my gosh, how long? And I would just dread it. Some weekends I would just dread the fact that Saturday morning was going to be meal prep time. But this morning I didn't dread it. I guess I had a really good break, and it was exciting to know that I'm getting myself back on track. Well, knock on wood, I'm getting myself back on track. It's not for lack of trying. It's not for lack of having food ready and accessible. That's what today is all about. Having food ready, food that I can work into my day points wise. And from the menu plan to when I actually made it, because I weighed and measured the sausage, you'll see that. My recipe changed from 4 points a serving for the breakfast to 6 points, but that's no big deal. 2 points, we can work with that. And then the salmon stayed the same as Salmon Loaf. But I'm really excited to eat it too. It made me think. I was over there smelling that salmon. I was like, oh, well, I want it right now. And it made me think of Joan. Y'all know my friend over at Joan's Pointed Plate. She has talked about on so many of her videos that she gets excited to eat her food. She just gets excited when she's making her meal plan. She gets excited about it. When she's cooking it, she gets excited about it. If she makes something and she knows it's waiting on her after an appointment or something, she's excited. She's excited to eat her food. She gets excited. And I'm like, you know what? I like to eat, obviously, but rarely do I get excited. I do. Sometimes I get excited, but not a lot. You know, it's like, okay, well, that's good, but I don't show any kind of thrill over it. Boy, today I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. I am so excited. I am ready to eat my breakfast. I am ready to eat my lunch. And yes, that's a good feeling. So for today is a good meal prep day. So what we're having, we just talked about it. Baked sausage and eggs is something David made when he stayed out on the road a week at a time. Something he found back in the day, 10 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. And we still like it to this day. And then lunch is Salmon Loaf. It's from Mama Peggy. The recipe I have linked in my description, or in my description box goes to my website, but it links to her recipe because I use it just like it is. So it wasn't no sense to retype it. But Mama Peggy makes a good salmon loaf. I'm here to tell you. I'm ready. I would just soon, I think, eat that for breakfast and have my breakfast for lunch. That's how bad I want that salmon. We'll see what I do. Who knows? But that's what we're doing today. I'll quit talking and we'll just get started cooking. I want to make my salmon patties first. Take 1 can of salmon. This is 14 3/4 ounce. I don't know if they're all that, if that's standard or what. But drain it. And now you can leave in the bones if you want to. Sorry about that. I won't eat it if I get a bone in my mouth. That grosses me out. So now these little small ones, you can see these right here. They disintegrate. So they don't bother me. It's these, I think, are on this piece. Let's see. No. None there. Let me see. Don't tell me if I got one. Here we go. The round bones. Those are the ones. They don't disintegrate. These do. These little skinny bones, they disintegrate. These round ones do not. You hear them hit. If I get one of those in a bite, I'm done. Seriously, I'm done. I won't eat anymore. So do what you will. However you think you want to eat yours. So let me just get rid of that. Then I go an extra step, and you can break it up with your spoon. I go an extra step, and I break mine up with my hands, just to make sure I don't feel a bone in there. And I have before, because sometimes they're a little hidden. But even if you're not worried about bones, this is a nice step. Gets it nice and minced, I guess you could say. Okay, let me wash my hands. I'm good with that. Okay, now we will do 2 eggs. Set that up there. Let's see. The recipe calls for finely minced onions. I like to tell that I have onions in my salmon patties, so I didn't do that. If you want to follow it exactly like the recipe, then you do that, but I'm not going to. Now I need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of dill. So let me get my salt back here. And a 1/4 teaspoon of dried dill. A tablespoon of dried parsley. Recipe calls for fresh parsley, 2 tablespoons of fresh minced parsley. I don't keep that on hand, and I don't buy it because the rest of it would just go to waste. So I just substituted 1 tablespoon of dry. And then 2 tablespoons, no, excuse me. That was supposed to be 2 tablespoons of parsley. 1 tablespoon, I'm right. I don't know what I was thinking. 2 tablespoons of fresh, there we go. Tablespoon of lemon juice. You can use fresh if you want. I just use the concentrate. A 1/4 cup of milk. And then let's me mix this around a little bit before I add my breadcrumbs. Just break that egg up a little bit. Now my salmon patty recipe, I use saltine crackers. I had never used breadcrumbs in a patty recipe, and then I tried this salmon loaf recipe, and it's delicious. So now we have 2 cups of, and you could tell that's 2 different colors. There's a wheat crumb and then a white crumb. I had 1 hamburger bun that was stale, so I found a use for that. Don't immediately throw away your stale. I mean, this is molded, but don't immediately throw away your stale bread, because I hadn't planned on using it for this. It just worked out, so I didn't have to waste it. And then the rest, I'm out of bread. The rest is David's wheat bread, and it's pretty much stale too. And it was a good use of the heel, because we don't eat the heels. But what that 2 cups was, for me, was 1 hamburger bun, a loaf heel, and 2 slices. And it was really a little bit more than 2 cups. So it probably would have been enough with 2 slices without the heel, but I mean, it's not going to make that big of a difference. Now I have here a loaf pan, and this is a 9x5. I sprayed it. We want to pack this down in here really good. If you have a smaller loaf pan, I can't remember right off what the size the recipe calls for, but a smaller one will just make it a little thicker. So you'll be fine. Let me just get in here with my hand. Make sure it's all good and compact, because you want it to stick together. This is not like a meatloaf. Meatloaf you don't want to overwork because it'll like toughen up on you. You're not going to overwork this. You want to make sure all the bubbles or whatever would be in it is out. Now this will bake at 350 for 45 minutes. Let me look. Yeah, 45 minutes at 350. All right, we will start on breakfast while the salmon loaf is still in the oven. The salmon cooked at 350. This cooks at 375. So we'll just let it come up to 375 really quickly. It will is what I'm trying to say. I can't get it out. You know I like Niece's sausage, but they were out of it, so I have this Jimmy Dean, which is still good sausage. But I always have trouble because I've never just, I don't think, if I have, it's been years, actually measured how much sausage is left after it's cooked. Because for this sausage and for Niece's, their points are listed as cooked. Well, this is 16 ounces. I don't want to, this is high in points. Like two ounces of cooked, this is like 8 points. That's high. So I don't want to give myself points that I've not eaten. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this up. And I don't know if this is a fattier sausage than Niece's or vice versa, or if they're the same. But I'm going to go ahead and cook this up, crumble it. I only need half of it, but the other half I'll put in the freezer. But I'm going to go ahead and see how many ounces of cooked sausage I get out of 16 ounces of raw sausage. And then while this is cooking, I need to shred my cheddar cheese. So I won't show you how to do that. I just have an attachment that goes on my KitchenAid. So however you shred your cheese, you know how to shred cheese. We don't need to show you that. Okay, so I'll be back and we'll weigh this together. The sausage is ready, and I kind of burn it because I was cleaning up after my cheese. I'm going to drain it on some paper towels. But look at this. There's hardly any fat. You would think it would be swimming. Look at that. It's not. So I know I'm going to drain it to get whatever fat is on there. But this is what, I don't understand how the system, as in the point system, works. If, I know this is a fatty cut of meat. Obviously, it's sausage. But if there's hardly any fat that comes off of it, wouldn't that mean that just lean is left behind? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand why dark meat chicken has to have more points than white meat chicken. It's just chicken. But, well, they don't pay me the big bucks. So I'm just going to let this sit here and drain down a little bit. All right. The sausage has drained. I have my bowl teared out. And let's see, I might can just, I took the, if you can see, I just took the top and folded those over, try to get some off the top too. But you can see there is a lot that comes off into the paper towel. So let's see. I'm going to be curious to know because I think we're stuck with a lot of points. Oh, okay. Well, that's more, look at there, 10 ounces. 10 ounces on the dot. Well, that's, I would have been shortchanging myself because I would have never thought there was 6 ounces of fat that came off of that sausage onto this paper towel. So I will know that a whole package is 10 ounces, and I will write that on one of my little pages inside my cabinet. I have papers inside my cabinets with notes and odd little information pieces that you might need when you're cooking, so I will put that in so I know that Jimmy Dean is 10 ounces for the whole thing. So let me move this out of the way. Our salmon loaf came out, by the way. I could have started this earlier, but, oh, I need to leave this here. I could have started this earlier and saved myself some time in the long run. Let me see, what am I supposed to do? Spread my sausage. So I need a half a pound, which means I need 5 ounces, right? Because the whole pound was 10. So I just want 5 ounces. Oh, that's going to make this recipe a whole lot better than I thought. Five ounces. Now, you could put this in a regular round if you're making it like for the family or something. And I've made it in the round one for meal prep before too, but I thought this time I would try to spread it out so I could get even servings when I cut it up. So, all right, let's see. Let me set this aside. Now we need 6 eggs. And this, will go in the freezer. And I will label it 5 ounces. And I will make a note that that is half a pound. That I need 6 eggs. And my recipe doesn't say anything about salt and peppering, but we will. Okay, let's bring this back over here. I have 4 ounces of shredded cheese. It's 1 cup, but if you shred it yourself, especially, weigh it out, because see how nice and moist it is. It's not going to pack down like the kind in the bag, because they have it treated to keep it from caking together. So that's why it's a drier cheese, and it will pack down in your measuring cup. So either way, I would do 4 ounces. I would weigh it whether it was freshly shredded or not. So we just want to put half of our cheese down, and then all of our eggs. See if we can get that egg kind of. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna, I didn't pour that very well, so I'm just gonna stir it around just to make sure the egg is nicely distributed. So if you pour better than me, you won't have to do this part, but I'm just, okay. So really, I don't know why. Well, this is the recipe. This is the recipe David used, and so I'm just using it like it is. Actually, I think I was supposed to put the sour cream on. Let me read my recipe. No, I'm doing it right. So the other half of the cheese. And then I have, hold on. Oh, I was supposed to have a half a cup. I measured out a whole cup. So we're just going to half a cup. Just dollop it around all over the top. I shouldn't have known that looked like too much for this little casserole. This will bake at 375 for, let me look. I just don't have this stuff memorized. 30 minutes or until it's set in the middle. Okay. I'll pop this in the oven and we'll be back. We will go ahead and plate up our salmon, our lunch, while the breakfast is finishing. And you can tell I got 6 servings, and they're kind of not even, which that's how I do things. I can never get anything even. So what I want to do first is, let me see if I can get this out. Ooh, did I let it sit too long? Let me see. No, I didn't. It's just this first piece. I want to start my, and I made some Brussels sprouts to go with it. I just want to plate up my lunch for today. So I know I don't have to have an extra one before to put in the refrigerator because I have limited space and I don't know where I'm going to put all this. So that will give me 5 to go in the refrigerator. So let me dish those up. I think I'll do it like this. Here are all our lunches and my lunch for today, and we will wait for our breakfast to get ready. So let's look at what we did today. This just came out of the oven. It needs to cool off a little bit before I scoop it out and plate it up. But if you're skeptical, let me just tell you, these little warmed up, cooked pockets of sour cream are delicious. I don't know what it does to it, but it's really good. So this will be 8 servings. I'm going to save 1 for myself today. I'm going to save 2 for David because they're not very big servings and they'll be a good size for me. And then I will have 5 for the rest of the week. This is, 6. When I adjusted the recipe, it's 6 points per serving. The exact way you saw me make it with the exact ingredients that I used. And then for lunch, we have our salmon loaf and some Brussels sprouts. And the Brussels sprouts are 0. I did toss them with some, I can't believe it's not butter spray. I don't count those points. If any of them adds up, I'm not counting them. Which I think it would be hard to use that much to get a point if there are any. Anyway, and then the salmon loaf, that's 2 points. So that will be my lunch. And that is what I'm making today. I hope if you are prepping something, you're prepping something good. And I will see you in my next video.